Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Interstellar Modeler. This is now part 2 of my Hasbro Millennium Falcon Conversion. Let me go ahead and begin this part here by showing you how I plan to scratch build the detailing. Now, as you know, there are numerous panels around the ship that are missing detailing, and the toy provides these stickers that you're supposed to put in place to simulate that detailing. Obviously, we're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and build the detailing here, and so let's go ahead and begin with this one section here. Now both the top and bottom half have this protrusion, and you can see they did add some detailing here, but unfortunately it's not really supposed to look this way. This whole section is recessed like that, and so because it doesn't look quite right, we're going to have to build out this area. So what I'm going to do is cut out a piece of styrene, and then I'm going to use this detailing that you see here as kind of a guideline to make up our own detailing. So let me go ahead and show you how I plan to do that. Okay, so what I did first was use cardboard to create an outline of that particular section. And remember, we have to make 2 of these now. And so I used that as a template to now trace onto a piece of plain styrene plastic. This is 0.5 millimeter styrene plastic now. And once that was done, I cut out the shape like so. And using that as kind of a guideline, remember I'm not going to completely duplicate what we see there. I just traced out with pencil what I think might look okay. And so that's what we're going to use here as kind of an outline for laying down our styrene rods and our odds and ends. And these are the styrene rods that I'm going to be using. I have a bunch of different packages of styrene rods and that I've kind of collected over the years. I've selected these few here that we're going to be using. I think you'll find that the half-round rods are particularly helpful because, of course, they're flat on one side. So we're going to use a combination of this 2.5 millimeter as well as a 1 millimeter half-round rod. And then I think what will be helpful as well are these strips here. And so I'm going to kind of cut and glue these onto this piece here, and we'll see how it works out. And to make these little circles, it's simply just cutting or slicing off pieces of this 2.5 millimeter rod here. And then, yeah, we'll just kind of go along and just play it by ear, see how it turns out, and hopefully it'll look right. So what I'm going to do is just start putting it together. I'll show you then when it's done. Alright, and here we have the finished piece now. And I didn't do any taping with laying this stuff down because it's really pretty self-explanatory. You're just cutting and gluing the pieces down. And so yeah, it actually looks fairly decent to me anyway. Let me go ahead and place it onto the model, and let's just kind of see what it looks like over there. Okay, so there you have it now. This panel has been detailed and filled in. It looks like it's going to fit fairly well. And you're not going to see too much of this detailing because as you're familiar with the ship, there's 2 of these, as I mentioned. The top portion has one as well, so it's going to be fairly shaded. But as you look into the space, you'll see this detailing here rather than that recessed sort of configuration there. So I'm going to go ahead and work on the top one, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. Alright, so this is the section in the upper half. You can see it's very similar to that of the bottom. And same thing, you have the detailing here, but it's a recessed sort of configuration. And so now we'll go ahead and slide our piece into place. And just to roughly put it into place there for a second. And you can see it looks fairly decent there. I'm not going to address this gap that you see here because when the 2 halves are together, you're really not going to see that. So I'm not going to bother with that. But once we paint it, it should blend in fairly well with the rest of the ship. So to give you an idea what it's going to look like here, I've temporarily put the 2 halves together and put into place the scratch-built section now. And so yeah, you can see it looks much better than just having a recessed area. So that is the procedure I'm going to take for detailing the rest of these panels. So let's go ahead and get started with those. Okay, so I'm continuing the scratch building phase here, and I wanted to show you one of the side panels that I'm working on. So for this, what I'm using as a guide are actually the stickers that were provided with the toy. And so it's just a simple process of either trying to find pieces that somewhat resemble those, or trying to make some that look somewhat similar here. So essentially I'm just pulling from these trees or these little car toy models that I have here, or just taking styrene and just trimming it and using the Dremel to round out the edges and the corners and so forth. So we're getting somewhat of a similar look. Again, I'm not looking for complete accuracy here, but it hopefully will give us a close facsimile. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on, and I'm going to go ahead and fill out this area here, and then we'll move on to the one on the left side of the ship. And before I move on, I just thought I would show you the completed piece. And again, it really was just a matter of cutting and trimming little pieces here and trying to get us a similar look. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the other side. Okay, and this is now the left rear panel, and just to show you again how I'm doing this, so just following along this pattern here, and really at this point all I've done is I've taken different types of styrene plastic. So this one, for example, again, is also made by Evergreen Scale Models, and it comes with this groove pattern already on it. And then I also have styrene that's just blank, like this. And so I'm just kind of looking what these pieces are shaped like. And so I'll just cut, like the first one I just used a clear styrene, and then I trimmed it to about this size. And then I've mounted my Dremel here on a vise, and essentially I just use it as a grinding wheel. So I'll just take the piece and grind the corners into rounded edges. Okay, and then once that's done, I just lay the piece down and then just start trimming other pieces. You can see there are styrene rods here of varying sizes, and these are all half-round rods. And I also use these square rods as well. And just kind of trim along, making the pipes and stuff, and then just kind of go along. So with this piece, most of it's going to be shaping styrene plastic into these, like these triangular shapes here, and then using rods to create these sort of pipes here. So I'll just move along here, and I'll show you when the piece is completed. Okay, so here we now have this panel finished, and again, you can see it's just a matter of trying to find similar shapes and trimming and so forth, just to kind of get a similar look. It's not going to be, exact, but yeah, overall I think it looks pretty decent here. Alright, so I think I've already taken you through this enough here, and I'm going to go ahead and finish the other panels that we need to have done, and I'll just show you or catch you up here when everything is completed. Alright, so here we now have the finished pieces, and as you can see, they turned out pretty well. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Otherwise, I'll see you then in part 3. Thanks again for watching, and take care.